Всем здравствуйте. Maksut, спасибо, что приехал. А,
Hello, everybody. Maksut, thank you very much for coming. Well,
Ты первый
it-
министр связи
you are the first minister of telecommunications who came to us. Why?
какой-то индустрия
And do we see how the industry,
и регулярно
that ministry, started getting involved in information security so regularly? Why? Why you do that?
Спасибо за приглашение. В
Well, thank you very much for invitation. And it's the second time I'm here.
прошлом году
I've been 2 years ago, and I see how in the course of 2 years the scale of the event has grown, which shows the importance of this event and its agenda. And why the Ministry of Digital Development is involved in it, because it's integrally related with implementation of new digital services, the more services, the new opportunities for our citizens to use modern
тем
possibilities.
больше риски и угрозы.
The more are the risks and threats, and we understand that this is agenda number one for this moment of time.
Что вот ты посоветуешь?
I understand, but what would you recommend? You know, people are watching us. These are people who are involved in cybersecurity, and many people complain that business does not understand this.
Понимаете,
But business complains that they don't understand cybersecurity. But what should we tell to top managers to be understood, so that they would be understood, so that they would have some common story?
Немножко пример из другой области.
I have some examples from another industry. I'm being asked very often, what are the properties of good digital transformation manager? I say, well, the key property, the key quality is the ability to inspire people for changes. So I think that the key quality of the main information security guy is to raise this question about information security to such a level so that he would understand that it's important. Of course, it can influence the business, it can influence the future of this top manager, and we see that all of this
Стала частью нашей жизни.
brings a lot of threats to our life. We see the leakages of data, we see how our
Публичные сервисы.
public services are being DDoS attacked. So all this has become the part of our daily life. So I think top managers started understanding that this is their area of responsibility. These risks, if they are underestimated, this can lead to serious damages. And we work to
Вовлечь руководителей.
involve top managers, at least big public companies, system companies, that this is important part of their responsibility. And there was a decree signed by the president according to our initiative together with STAC and FSB, that there will be a personal responsibility of the top manager, and there should be a deputy responsible for security. So there should be a special department which increases our status as information security people.
Вся наша организация.
And this is caused by the mechanics and by the situation. So I think that cybersecurity has a great future. And of course, we should speak in terms which are understandable by top managers. This is the main advice. If it's going to be in the terms of threats, reputational losses, and negative threats, any manager will start worrying about it. Any normal manager.
что думаешь? Вот,
So, what do you think? I've been speaking to colleagues, and IT industry speaks about, results of their activities. For example, public services. You make the site, people use it, everything is tangible and understandable. You've made digital document flow, and you can see how it works or if it doesn't work. But cybersecurity, what is the main result
год проходит,
that can be achieved in this area? 1 year passes, 2 years pass. Which improvements can become tangible?
Если
Well, this situation is different. When digital services are working, it means that cybersecurity works well because there are no negative consequences. No data leakages, nothing is broken, everything works and functions stably. And people don't value this usually because they see stability of operations. But I think that absence of incidents, this is the main indicator of working cybersecurity.
А как вот ты
не
относишься?
знаю, руководитель должен спать спокойно. Вот я
So the CEO should sleep peacefully.
всех наших совещаниях
and don't be bothered by nightmares. So, and as a Ministry of Digital Development, we are responsible for public services, even though it's being done by Rostelecom, but there is a big team which launches them, and there is a special department which provides this security. But I don't sleep peacefully. Every time I'm thinking what else can be done, which risks can be mitigated, which data leakages can be stopped, which breakages could be stopped and prevented. And these type of unease should be a part of every top manager. And this is going to be the foundation of the fact that probability of these events will be as low as possible. Well, in positive technologies, we have a goal. And one of the goals of positive technologies is to sleep peacefully. So when I will call the best team which knows how to do this work, so I will give them prizes, big money, but we do it as a commercial company. But what do you think about public company if they will move in the same direction, like bug bounty, break me or not? And in the West, Google and all other big companies are moving in the same direction. So what do you think about it? I think this is the only opportunity to provide real security.
Конечно, знаете, у нас все хорошо с
Everything is all right with legal framework. We have a lot of requirements and they work. But in real life, we see that even with formal execution of these requirements, real security is not being provided. So paper security, everything's all right with it. All the certificates are available, everything's available. But we do understand that there's a lot of possibilities of penetration, violations in function. They're not related with paper. And the only way to provide real security is to be constantly in a condition of stress, to be able to hire specialized teams, try to penetrate, incentivize them financially. And this is the only successful story. I don't see any other stories. And what is being done in big tech, these are best practices. And of course, to our state companies, it looks a little bit innovative, but I think there is no other way, because documents, they can keep you in a calmness until the moment when a big incident happens. It involves big work, a lot of work, constant search for vulnerabilities through specialized teams, and you have to pay good money for this work, and only this can reduce the probability. It will never go down to zero. At least the most obvious holes should be closed. So we are trying to convince our colleagues that this is normal practice and we have to adopt it. Even though for many of our colleagues, when you penetrate yourself, when you break yourself, it looks like something ambitious. But the recent decree about the control, well, it's about something like that. Check yourself with specialized teams and companies. Yeah, and this is what we're speaking about. And this is our active position. This is active position of your company and the industry. And this is our agenda. And together with the colleagues from our competent authorities, we try to promote it. And this is exactly about it. It should be a hygiene minimum, the constant work to search for vulnerabilities. Okay, let's see. Here's a question from another area. We see noticeable attention of the state to IT industry, benefits, discounts, and one of my friends tells me, in the family, I feel sorry that I'm IT guys. Oh, you're so lucky, you have this and this and this and this. I'm a chemist and I'm a physicist, and they don't have all of these benefits. Why such big attention to the industry? I think that digital agenda is not limited by one industry. It penetrates into all industries, including the chemical industry as well, because we cannot avoid it. Digital technologies have a lot of factors of productivity, and progress depends on it. Of course, we need science, applied research is needed, but digital technology gives fast effect of cost reduction, new properties, and the state understands that this is strategically important asset, that Russia is lucky We do have this great industry. We have a lot of champions among national companies, our own ecosystems. Many companies, many states cannot boast of good developers like ours. So our main objective is to support it, to develop it, and give more dynamics. So all these benefits, we need all of these to make Russia comfortable country for IT business, to work with IT people, and this is our main objective. And in this sense, there is competition. In cyber industry, they say, well, IT guys, they have high salaries, but they also constantly being helped. But we are in the international economy. We are part of it. And we understand that our IT people, they should have stimulus to stay here. We should give them this stimulus. Otherwise, they are very fast to find a good place under the sun in foreign countries. So we're not going to prohibit anything, but we should give them additional stimulation to stay here. Cybersecurity industry also should receive all these benefits and possibilities. So we are going to provide it. You know, cybersecurity is a part of our industry, so digital ministry is involved in it. So all these new benefits provided to them are covering all of them. And we understand we have to protect personal information. This is also very important because everybody who develop means of protection of information, hardware and software, they will receive our benefits. Okay, a question from another area. Very often we hear about different data leaks, and I am, as a citizen, my personal data, I think all of it already is in the net. Like big med companies, they have all this data about me, and I understand that these companies, they're gonna pay like 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 rubles penalty, and for them it's not a big penalty. And in the world they have the totally different approach to these penalties. Is it possible to be done in Russia? And I see no other way in Russia, because for me as business, either I should be involved in this defense and pay 50,000 rubles as penalty. It's nothing. You believe me? I completely agree with you. If the state companies and organizations, if we can make them, and if these requirements are not followed, it's bad for the top management, but for the business, the main criteria is the economy. So if they need to pay a lot of money to provide security into pen tests, bug bounty, defense, or you pay small penalty, of course, businesses build in such a way they will pay penalties because they make economically effective decisions. Because the loyalty of the users, it's not direct economic losses for them. So Ministry of Digital Communications went to the president with a statement that we should come to the global practices which exist in Europe, reversed penalties which can be tens of millions of dollars. And we understand that if business will risk these amounts, it's understandable they will invest more in their own cybersecurity. I think it's going to be a real change in the industry because clients would request not just formal compliance. They would have a desire for the data not to leak. This will be totally different requirements to the suppliers, and it would be a very important moment. Yes, and the second penalty should be the same magnitude. For example, if we say that this culture is just being developed in the business, and if we will immediately introduce these reverse penalties, these could be a great pressure for them. So we say that repetitive violation should be connected to this reverse penalty. We should give them some time to improve their situation. The president have supported, and the law draft has been submitted to the parliament. Without this, business, unfortunately, will be threatened only by ruble instead of additional investments into the IT security. Well, I understand that you have very little time. I have another question. Cybersecurity industry. What would you recommend to people who work in this industry? When you look at it, well, I would like to say that, okay, guys, you always were an important part, but right now you're the front ends, you're number one. And starting from the year 22-23, it's going to be the year of the cybersecurity. And I think the companies will enter the infrastructure, defense infrastructure, state authorities will be actively involved in it. Public laws will be all around it, but we expect certain feedback. We wait for new decisions. We expect new companies So, guys, you are not limited by anything. There is a demand, and the demand is going to grow even more. This is our life. That's why you are on the front ends. So take the best and develop your business, and the state is going to help you from this point of view by benefits, loans, support, and market is available. So go forward.
Индустрия наша, конечно,
Because I believe that our industry, volume wise,
не дотягивает.
is not big enough.
Есть куда
Not big enough to cover the demand. So you do have a lot of directions to invest and develop. You're on the front ends and your salaries are going to grow, especially when there's a lack of resources. The demand is very high. So you are on the top position. Stay on these top positions. Thank you very much. Thank you.